fan because I called his coming out fight against Bradis Prescott.
He's
and
special.
then various other stepping stones throughout his career.
I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%. Absolutely right.
I also think Canelo is slowing down.
I'm with this point. I didn't give Canelo more than like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 if I'm just being generous.
You know, becoming the first undisputed world champion in the 4-belt era in 3 different weight classes. Really, and the way he did it, and you know, the class that he showed.
Joe Rogan reacted to Terence Crawford's stunning victory over Canelo Alvarez, highlighting how Crawford thrives under doubt. He explained that whenever critics say Crawford can't rise to the occasion, it only fuels his determination to prove them wrong. Rogan praised Crawford's slick movement, precise striking, and ability to showcase his power on boxing's biggest stage. He believes this win cements Crawford as one of the most skilled fighters in the sport today. Bont Hill also weighed in, tweeting, "I'm now convinced Crawford would beat any version of Floyd Mayweather." This bold statement underscores the magnitude of Crawford's performance and suggests that his legacy could even surpass that of the undefeated Mayweather. Crawford's dominance across weight classes and adaptability in the ring show why many are taking this claim seriously.
Get ready to subscribe totally to that because, again, you're talking about somebody who is stubborn.
And
who wants to prove everything he can prove.
100%. I agree with that too. But I think there's like in boxing and certainly in MMA, there's a certain amount of years where a fighter can keep the RPMs up. And you know, when they're in the red line, and there's some people subscribe to the idea of 9 years. There's 9 years is the most that a elite fighter in MMA has performed at their prime. I think that's a bullshit number because I think it's entirely dependent upon lifestyle, nutrition, discipline, physical attributes. There's a lot of factors.
George Foreman won the heavyweight championship of the world in boxing at age 45.
True, but he took 10 years off.
Commentator Gareth called Crawford's performance one of the most remarkable in boxing history. He highlighted that Crawford moved up 3 weight classes to face Canelo, was the older fighter, and had been out of the ring for over a year. Despite these challenges, Crawford displayed mastery, skill, and composure rarely seen in the sport. Gareth emphasized that fans should recognize this as a once-in-a-lifetime display of greatness, proving Crawford's ability to overcome obstacles and exceed expectations. Shakur Stevenson echoed this respect on X, praising Canelo for stepping up to fight top competition when many avoid the challenge. Stevenson's words remind fans that greatness isn't only about winning, it's also about the courage to face the best.
Throughout the course of the week, we said that this is a game of IQ. There's going to be movement within the fight. You're going to have to answer different types of questions and bring different types of game plan. Crawford did that. He was able to do it backwards, he was able to do it forwards, he could trade in the pocket, catch the stuff, and then counter. He was absolutely magnificent. Listen, I know this is raw and we've only just walked out the stadium, right?
10 minutes ago.
And when the dust settles on this, we'll probably have better answers and better thought processes. And I'm sure people watching this will get stuck into the comments and maybe say what I'm about to say is quite outlandish. That might be the single best performance that I have ever witnessed live. It was absolutely tremendous. You've got to take into consideration the weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154, but let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound for pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas and managed to beat him on the cards when the judges tried to do him, mate, it is out of this world what Terence Crawford just did, and he needs all the flowers in the world, he needs all the praise in the world, and I don't think you're wrong, mate, by saying he's the pound for pound #1. It's an ever-moving list. That performance alone deserves to put him right at the top of the
Yeah, he's become. There's an argument that he becomes an all-time great with that performance, like you say, because the majesty, the poise, the presence all week, the pinpoint accuracy of everything he did in there, to the fact that in the end Canelo was frustrated and knew he couldn't do anything to Crawford, and he started
visibly frustrated, wasn't it?
No, visibly frustrated that he started to do a weird kind of showboating because he didn't have any answers for what was happening and unfolding in front of him. I think Terence Crawford has rubber-stamped himself as an all-time great tonight, and I want to revise a view on him I wondered whether he would have been capable of beating Floyd Mayweather at welterweight.
Oh, you're going for it now, aren't you?
And I think, yeah, we got to. I think he may well have done.
Paulie Malignaggi also weighed in, calling Crawford's achievement historic. Becoming an undisputed champion in 4 divisions is rare, and executing it against a fighter of Canelo's caliber makes it even more impressive. Malignaggi compared Crawford's dominance to Floyd Mayweather's reign in his era, suggesting this marks the start of Crawford's own era. He pointed out that this victory isn't just another win, it represents a shift in power, establishing Crawford as the defining figure of his generation.
Flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special. It's one of those things now, because now I've now seen back-to-back generations of Floyd Mayweather and Bud Crawford, and man, you know, it's one of those things where now I understand why the people that lived in the Ray Leonard era say, you know, oh, wish we could see Ray Leonard against Mayweather, and how that would be. Because it just leaves such an empty feeling when you have such special fighters that were in different generations, and you saw both of them. You know, I saw the entirety of the Mayweather generation. I saw the entirety of the Bud Crawford generation. Just incredible. Really, really incredible. And I know Mayweather gets a lot of hate, but for me, he's a tremendous, tremendous fighter. And Terence Bud Crawford is in that realm as well. And it's a fight we'll never get to see. So what are we going to do, you know? It'll be up to the fantasy fights, you know. But let's get into it, man. I want to get into the undercard as well and some of my thoughts on the Netflix show. But let's get into the main event first. Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved.
Devin Haney summed up Crawford's dominance perfectly, saying Canelo didn't have much of a chance and that he could only give him 3 or 4 rounds at best. Haney's statement served as both an assessment and a challenge, highlighting how decisive Crawford's win was. Even boxing's top young champions no longer see Canelo as the untouchable force he once seemed to be.
Score it, Devin. I wasn't scoring. I didn't give Canelo more than like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 if I'm just being generous.
Can't get away from this
Maybe
fucking
4.
Are you shocked or not?
Hey, right here to my left.
Are you shocked or not?
No, I'm not shocked.
Fans shared their admiration as well. One tweeted, "True competitors are all champions. There is no loss in the pursuit of sincere glory. Thank you and congratulations to Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. The warrior spirit won tonight." The message highlights that greatness isn't measured only by victory, but also by courage and dedication. Bill Haney added that Crawford's win over Canelo seemed even easier than his victory over Errol Spence. He noted that Crawford's ability to neutralize elite opponents is becoming increasingly apparent, making each win look smoother and more decisive than the last.
Exactly. And you guys knew what was going to happen. You were in denial. That shit looked easier than Earl Spence. Did it look, huh?
It's a brilliant performance. Brilliant
performance, man. Shout out to Team Crawford, Bo Mack, and that whole team, man. You know what I mean?
Where'd you rank him all-time list after that?
I mean, put his face on Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? He deserves his place, for sure.
Did you score it, Bill?
Yeah, I scored it a lot for Crawford and a very little for Canelo. If any. I don't know.
116, 112?
I don't know. I mean, I could pick one or two. I could pick one or two in there or something like that.
I know it's straight after the fight. But do you want to see Crawford go out on that, or do you think there'll be a rematch?
No, I don't hear a bunch of partying going on. I listen. It sounds like a funeral home in Allegiant Stadium. Did Crawford win? It sounds like it's a funeral home. Look, you see over there. You see it's quiet. It's quiet as shit. Yeah. Is it a holiday or what? Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, that's a Crawford fan. He's Mexican. Now, listen. Hey, y'all know what's up. Crawford done did it. And only person that's talking is me. November 22nd. If you don't want to hear nothing else, Crawford is great. November 22nd.
Another fan summed up the significance of the fight, pointing out that Crawford, despite being older and moving up multiple weight classes, left no room for excuses, cementing this as one of boxing's greatest achievements. Analysts agreed that this fight wasn't just about belts but about legacy. The winner would emerge as the era's top fighter, and Crawford did exactly that. By executing a flawless plan, neutralizing Canelo's strengths, and displaying every tool in his arsenal, Crawford shifted the conversation from whether he belongs among the greats to exactly where he ranks in boxing history.
You need rehydrate, you need this. No, you don't. If you're actually a man who is willing to, challenge himself and not a little boy who's afraid, then yeah, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And Terence Crawford did it, and he did it damn well. Credit to Terence Crawford. Absolutely. Honestly, I'm still... Because for me, although I was picking Canelo Alvarez to win this fight, and although I've been a fan of Canelo Alvarez for many, many years, he was one of the main guys who got me into boxing. I have loved Terence Crawford, loved watching him fight for years and years and years. I remember staying up at the time, and I actually made sure to get the HBO feed to get his fight with Victor Postal. And I remember, it wasn't one of his more entertaining fights, but I remember just being just in awe of the skill and ability of Terence Crawford at the time. I remember Bob Arum, they're both run by Top Rank, when people were saying, oh, could Loma fight Terence Crawford? And Bob Arum said that would be suicide. It would have been suicide. Could you imagine? Good Lord. I can't put into words how happy I am to be proven wrong, because I love watching Terence Crawford. I think he is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And it's really fitting, right? And I love Canelo Alvarez, right? But it's really fitting that at the top of boxing, we have two of the most honest champions, honest men you could ever see, you could ever imagine. And that being Alexander Usyk and Terence Crawford, two friends. And I think they really sum up this era of boxing. If we are coming to the end of it as a whole, I think they really sum it up that if you're dedicated to your profession and you're willing to stay disciplined and you're willing to...
Returning to Joe Rogan, he emphasized that Crawford's performance proved him superior to Canelo. Rogan highlighted Crawford's striking, adaptability, and mentality, likening his wrestling-like instincts to an added layer of danger. He praised Crawford's ability to move up in weight and dominate the challenge, comparing it to some of boxing's most historic moments. Rogan even suggested Crawford achieved something greater than Marvin Hagler, cementing his place among the sports elite.
His Majram's really good.
Yeah,
he's really fucking good.
But I just think Crawford is, it's weird to say against Canelo, but I think he's the better boxer, and I think he's the guy who can make the better in-fight adjustments if Canelo doesn't kill him.
It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. It's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47. Right?
Now
so it
he's
goes to
going
54, and now he's going to 68. That's so much weight.
A lot of weight.
But Terence is, I think he's the best switch hitter since Hagler.
They claim Hagler was my favorite.
And that's it for today's video. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.